don't have to sit cross-legged. And shoulders over your hips. And you might close your eyes and start to focus on your breath. Long, smooth inhales, long, smooth exhales. And just checking in with your mind, your body, your breath. How are you feeling in this moment? And how do you want to feel when we're done with our practice today? And let's set our intention with your hands at your heart. And when you are complete, bowing the head to the heart, heart to the earth. So welcome, everyone. And what I want to start with are some big circles. Well, and they might start small and then they gradually get bigger, right? But making some circles with your body and noticing how it feels through the hips, through your torso and your shoulders. All right. And then, so I want you to explore, so a number of you talked about your head and neck and shoulders. So let's take the chin towards the chest. And then very gently, we're going to keep the head tilted forward. And then you're going to shrug your shoulders up and let them come down. And you're just going to move through the shoulders. Inhale them up, exhale, release. Now after your next exhale, let's lift up the head. And then we're going to drop the head over to the left shoulder. And then a slight tilt of the chin towards the body. So you drop the head over to the side and then you tilt the chin and you're noticing what you feel. And of course, if it hurts, you back off, either completely or a little bit. Then we're gonna tilt the chin back up, lift up the head and move to the second side. And again, so you drop the shoulder down and then tilt the chin. And just notice how the stretch changes in the sides and back of your neck. You keep breathing. Again, we're gonna tilt the chin back up, bring the head back to center. And now let's just roll through those shoulders. And I know we do this a lot, and that's because so many of us, including myself, have tension in those shoulders. All right, so we're in a comfortable seated position, and we're gonna use the tennis balls, which we do often. So we're gonna take those, you're gonna bend your knees, and we're gonna put them right in front. So your butt, I just have to take this blanket out. Your butt is on the ground, right? And you're just pressing those tennis balls in, and then we'll move the legs side to side, front to back. So here, what we're hoping to do is to stretch or relax the connectors of the hamstrings into the pelvis. And there are some other wonderful things that connect in there, but that's my intention for you when we start off here. So noticing what you feel. Now, eventually, and we don't always do this at the same time, but I want you to stop with your knees bent. The tennis balls are still touching the front of your sit bone and the bottom of the hamstrings. And I want you to take your fingers and cup them and kind of imagine that there are these 4 long, narrow muscles and you're separating them with your fingers. Now, not that you're going to be able to differentiate with your fingers, but I want you to imagine that that's what's happening. And then after you do one side, and you go from the back of the knee all the way right up to where the tennis ball is. And then we'll do the second side. And you're still breathing and you're noticing. And again, we're going to take those tennis balls, we're going to move them out a little bit. And of course, you move at your own time, right? So if you're still working on those hamstrings, you keep doing that. When you're ready, you'll move the tennis balls out a little bit. And again, knees side to side or front to back. And you're still breathing. And there we go. All right. Now, what I want you to do again, we're going to leave the tennis balls where they are. And I want you to either use your knuckles or the heels of your hands. And we're going to go through the quads, so the front of the thighs. So yes, it's kind of like a self-massage to help stimulate and loosen things up. These are feeling kind of tight. See some head nods agreeing with me. And again, make sure that you give the same amount of attention to both sides. And you're going to keep breathing. All right. Now, one last thing we'll do with the tennis balls. If you take them out and just lean your body forward, press those tennis balls in, bend your knees. So we're doing the back of the pelvis now, or the low back. Only because it feels so good. And you're still breathing. Now, while we're here moving our knees side to side, since so many of you talked about your shoulders, check in with your shoulders while you move your knees and notice if you feel anything. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't feel anything. I just want you to, like, I just noticed as I was moving my knees side to side what I was feeling in my shoulders. So I want you all to check in too and see if you feel that as well. And so because of that, I have to stay here a little bit longer. Now, when you start to feel done with this, we are going to make our way onto our hands and knees. And if you like a blanket under your knees, you're going to place one there. And if not, don't worry about having one there. It's for your comfort. Now here we are on our hands and knees, the wrists slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips, and both hands and knees as wide as our hips and shoulders. And you're going to engage your lower abdominal muscles. Now, what I want you to do here, we're going to move, and I don't know if this is going to show up on the video, but you're going to move head towards the hip, side to side. So does that make sense to you? There you go. So side to side, checking in with your hips and shoulders as you're moving, always connecting to your breath. Now we're going to stop at a place where you're in the center. You're going to connect with your breath. And this one, I want you to explore, because for some of us, like getting our body to do this is a little challenging. So you're engaging your core and you're going to drop your chest, right? So the arms are going to stay straight. Your elbows may want to bend, but you're going to keep them straight. And we're just moving through, through the shoulders. And you're going to keep breathing. And it's actually a lot of work, even though it looks kind of simple. All right, and eventually we'll come to a place where we stop. And now the inhale is going to be up here with tabletop, and we're going to exhale down towards child's pose. So just moving at your own pace with your breath, inhale up, exhale down. Noticing all those wonderful sensations in your body as you move. Now, next time you come up, I'm going to invite you to drop your hips forward, soften your shoulders from your ears into some form of cobra, and then exhale back. And this time we're going to go into a puppy pose where your forehead goes towards the ground and your hips stay up. So inhale, drop the hips and relax the shoulders. Exhale back. And of course, if it's more comfortable to move into a child's pose, you can do that. I prefer, when I'm going forward, to come back into a modified child's pose or puppy pose. And just moving with your breath. I can feel the temperature rising already. I'm sure some of you can as well. And one more time, inhale forward, exhale back. And then we're gonna meet, actually while we're back here, let's just stay here for a minute. We're gonna walk the arms over to the left and reach your hips over to the right. Nice long stretch through your side body. Side bodies. When you're ready, come through the center and we'll take the second side. And you're still breathing and you're noticing what you feel. And again, we're going to eventually make our way back to the center and up into our tabletop. And in your own time, we're going to stretch that right leg back. You're going to turn your toes underneath and stretch your heel towards the ground. So your toes are on the ground, turned under. You're reaching that heel, stretching your calf and your Achilles. I like to press away a little bit with my hands. Keep breathing, making sure you're not putting too much pressure on those wrists. And then we'll bend that knee, stretch out your second leg. And again, the toes are turned under, so you're reaching the heel towards the ground, maybe pressing away with your hands, breathing. Nice. Now, when we're done with the second leg, we're going to place that knee on the ground. We're going to stretch out the right leg, and this time it's off the floor with the foot flexed. Parallel with the floor, parallel with our body. And then we're going to bend that knee and press up towards the ceiling. And you're just gently pumping up and you're still breathing, noticing again what you feel as you're here. We'll take this knee down, then stretch out the left leg. Again, parallel with the ground, foot flex, then bending the knee and gently pumping up towards the ceiling. Still breathing. All right, now let's bring that one down. Now we're going to stretch out that right leg again, bring it parallel with the ground, bend the knee, and we're going to take the left hand and reach back. So you don't necessarily reach your ankle, maybe you do, and then you're going to press that foot up towards the sky. Keep breathing. You could use a strap here, or you can just reach your hand towards that foot. One more breath, and then we'll take the hand and the knee towards the ground. Now, before we move on to the second side, I'm going to invite you to inhale forward, drop your hips towards the ground, soften the shoulders, exhale back. And we'll do that 2 or 3 times with your breath. And then when you feel complete, we'll meet back up in our tabletop position, making sure you're connected with your breath. Then eventually we're going to stretch out that left leg, parallel with the floor, flex the foot, and again, reaching back with your right hand, and maybe again your hand comes to the foot, maybe it doesn't, pressing the foot up towards the ceiling, noticing what's happening in your quad, the front of your thigh, and your shoulder. Breath. One more breath. Again, when you feel ready to release, we'll inhale, body comes forward, and exhale back into our child's pose or puppy pose. So again, after you feel complete reconnecting with your breath and your body, we're going to step that left foot forward. So now we're in a modified lunge. And again, if your knee is poking into the ground, definitely put a blanket underneath. You might have blocks under your hands. Right now we're opening up that hip flexor. So again, a couple of you talked about this. So your knee, your right knee is behind your hip so that you're opening the front of that hip flexor a little bit more and you're breathing. And you might even imagine that you're sending your breath right to that space. Now, when you're ready, in your own time, you're gonna walk your hands back. You might take blocks with you, straighten out that left leg, and reach your head and body towards the leg. And again, if your hands don't reach the floor, definitely put blocks underneath them. Long, smooth breaths. Your foot is as flexed as it can be. Some of you might need to keep your foot pointed a little bit to relieve the stretch. And you're still breathing, never forcing. Now, for the next few breaths, you can choose to stay in either one of these positions, or you can move back and forth. With your breath, I like to flow. I mean, I like to hold the positions as well sometimes, but I feel like the flow really helps to enhance flexibility. So we're gonna stay here for another 2 breaths, so make sure that you did those stretches that you want to. And then when the next time you're putting that weight into your left foot and your left knee is over your ankle, we're gonna turn the right toes underneath, come into a lunge. And then keeping that right hand on the ground, we're gonna take the left hand onto the thigh and bring your belly towards that inner thigh. And I know that all of you can probably raise your hand up towards the ceiling, but I actually today want you to press your hand into that thigh to enhance your twist a little bit. Does that make sense? And you're gonna keep breathing. So notice what happens when you press that hand into the thigh as you're twisting. Now, on one of your exhales, we're going to turn back towards the ground. And again, you might want blocks here, because now what we're going to do is we're going to straighten that front leg and bend it. So we're staying up on the right toes, and we're just bending and straightening the left leg. Moving, again, with your breath. And some of you may choose to stay like in your pyramid pose with both legs straight, or in the lunge, depending on what feels better in your body today. Again, I'm liking the flow, so that's what's happening up here. But of course, you need to decide what's best for your body in this moment. All right, so next time we're in our lunge, we're going to gently place that right knee on the ground, step back with your left foot, and then bring that right foot up. So here we are on the second side, left knee behind the hip, so you're opening up that hip flexor, right knee over your ankle. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths. And you're noticing, like for me, there's a big difference from one side to the other. Maybe for you it's not, or maybe it is. And not every day is the same either. Now, going to walk the hands back and straighten out the leg to the best of your ability. Flex the foot. Maybe reach your head and body towards that straight leg, never forcing it. Again, if your hands don't easily come to the ground, it gives you a little bit more space if you put blocks or something, of a similar make underneath your hands. You're going to keep breathing, noticing all those wonderful sensations. Sometimes it's nice to point and flex that straight leg foot instead of moving your body. Remember, it's all an exploration. Now, in your own time, we're going to move through those two poses or stay in one or the other. You're choosing what feels best in your body today. You're continuing to breathe. Now again, we're going to do this for about 2 more breaths. And eventually we're going to end up with our weight in our right foot, and we'll turn the left toes underneath. Left hand's going to stay on the ground, right hand's going to come out to the thigh and push as we twist. Belly towards the inner thigh. Again, we're going to keep the hand on the thigh and push, and notice how that enhances our twist. Or not. Right. Still breathing. Now, again, on an exhale, whenever you're ready, we're going to turn the body back towards the ground. Your hands may be on blocks, and we're going to bend and straighten that right leg. Moving with your breath, deciding what feels best for you today. Now, again, we're going to come to a place where we're in our lunge, and this time, instead of stepping back, we're going to step that left foot forward into our forward bend. Bring your hands onto the thighs, and then we'll inhale halfway up into a half forward bend and exhale into a deeper bend. Moving with your breath. And on one of these inhales, let's come all the way up. So standing up, just like we did when we were sitting down, excuse me, we're going to roll through the shoulders. How's everybody doing? A little bit worn. Okay. So now our feet are going to be about hip width apart. Actually, let's grab a tennis ball and we'll roll through our feet one at a time. Because it feels so good and it helps to relieve some stress. And now would be a good time to switch feet if you have not done so already. And we're going to, when we're done rolling our feet, we're going to keep that tennis ball close by for some of the balance stuff we're going to do. So finish up and put the tennis ball in a safe place where you know where it is. And And again, let's come towards the front of your mat, and you have that tennis ball close by. And let's inhale, reach those arms up, and we're gonna pull through the arms one at a time, stretching through your body. You might bend your knees or come up onto your toes, and really just moving through the whole torso, side to side, moving with your breath. And eventually we'll come to a place where we pause, and we're going to inhale, both arms up, exhale into our forward bend. And then you're going to find your tennis ball, and we're going to put it under the left heel, and you're going to try to smush it with your foot. Right, so you're putting your weight not just in your heel, but the whole foot. And you're going to take your hands onto the floor or the blocks and step back with your right foot into a nice deep lunge. All right, now you're going to explore the possibility of bringing your hands onto your thigh. So breathe and focus. Maybe take those arms up towards the sky. If it doesn't feel good, keep them on your thigh. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Now, let's bring that right arm forward, left arm back. Oops, I did the opposite of what I said. Woo. Breathe and focus. Inhale up with both arms. Left arm forward, right arm back. Find a non-moving spot to look at with your eyes. And then let's inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands down, take that tennis ball out. Step your back foot forward. And then let's step forward with your left foot, find your tennis ball. And y'all know where it's going. Under that right heel, and try to smush it. And again, you're weighting both the front and back of your foot. Breathing, you're focused. If it's safe, you're going to bring your hands up onto your thigh. Connect with your breath. Maybe your arms come up towards the sky. And then you'll consider left arm forward, right arm back, still breathing, still focused. Inhaling both arms up. And then bringing right arm forward, left arm back. And again, when you're complete, inhaling both arms up. Hands come down, take out that tennis ball. Step your back foot forward, hands onto your legs, and let's inhale all the way up. Roll through those shoulders. How's everybody doing? All right. So for the next batch, you may or may not choose to use your strap. So have that close by. You're gonna find your weight in both of your feet about hip width apart. And at first, let's bring the weight into the right foot. And we're going to step that left foot forward. And your hands are wherever they help you balance. Mine just happen to be out to the sides. Now we're going to bend that knee and straighten that leg. Bend and straighten. This is where you could use a strap on your leg. And then we're going to take that foot down. Breathe, roll through your hips. And then we'll take the weight into your right foot, straighten out that left leg, foot is flexed. Breathe and focus. And then possibly bend that knee. And again, contemplate straightening out that leg and bending it. Keep breathing. And next time your leg is bent, we'll place it down on the ground. We're going to find our friend the tennis ball. And we're going to place it underneath the right heel. And again, Try to smush it. You have a little bit of yellow sticking out behind your foot. Weight the back and the front of the foot. We're going to come up onto the left toes. Just pivot through that hip. Moving the whole leg in and out. Now eventually we're going to keep that knee pointing to the left, and you're going to slide your heel in. Safety first always. And you're going to explore the possibility of bringing that foot up, hands to your heart center, and then possibly extending those arms up overhead. Breathe and focus. When you're ready to come down, we'll bring that knee forward, hands back to your heart center, foot comes down to the ground. Step off of the tennis ball, and then we'll take it under the left heel. And again, take a moment to get yourself set up, right? So that tennis ball's under your heel, not on your arches. There's a little bit of yellow sticking out. You weight the front and the back of the foot. We come up onto the right toes. We pivot through the whole leg. And you're still breathing. You're noticing how you feel. Again, we're going to keep the knee, turn to the right, slide that heel in. Bring your hands to your heart center, slide that foot up to a safe and comfortable place. And then possibly bring those arms up overhead, keep breathing. Use your core to help you stay here. Breathe and focus. Again, in your time, when you're ready to come out, you'll turn the knee forward, bring the hands back to the heart center, place the foot on the ground, and step off the tennis ball. Nice. So let's inhale both those arms up. Exhale into your forward bend. We're going to bring the hands down onto the ground. Now here, you're going to either bend your knees and hop or step back into a plank position. And what I want you to do for a couple of breaths, we're going to inhale in plank or up dog, exhale into our down dog. And just moving with your breath in a way that feels good in your body. You could also do this on your knees like we were doing earlier. You decide what's appropriate for you right now. Continuing to breathe as you move. Now next time you're in your down dog, you're either going to walk or hop your feet forward. And let's inhale, come all the way up. Stretch those arms up towards the ceiling. One more time, move side to side. Okay, and then relax those arms. Now this is another position where you can use a strap or not. We're going to reach for your right ankle and bring it towards your buttock. And you might, like I'm holding on to the wall, you might use the wall behind you. And we're just going to stretch back and forth with that knee. So you're noticing what's happening in the front of your thigh, in your back body, in your breath as you're moving. And if your hand does not come to your ankle, this is where you would use a strap around your ankle. Now we're going to release that foot and you're going to reach for your second side. Again, heel towards your buttock and maybe a gentle movement, gliding that knee front to back. Continuing to breathe, no forcing. Yes, there are lots of places we could go with this pose, but we're not going to today, because my intention was to get a nice little stretch in those quads. So from here, we're gonna make our way down to the ground, so I want you to think about what's the safest way for you to get down on the ground. And you are going to have your strap close by. And so, yes, I am thinking about a drink of water myself. So we're gonna keep the right leg extended and bring your left foot to the inner thigh, right? Now I want you to explore, can I do that without using my hands, right? Where does that foot come on its own? And then we're gonna place the strap around the padded part of that right leg. And then I want you to walk your hands down so that your arms, your elbows are straight. And you have this, you know, your shoulders are above your hips and you're breathing, your core is engaged. And we're gonna inhale up, exhale, you're gonna bend your knees and bring your head and body forward. Inhale up, exhale down. You might find after a couple of times that your hands want to walk down the strap a little bit more, or not. You do it a couple more times, moving with your breath. All right, now next time that we come up, you can release the strap, and you're gonna take your right hand down onto the ground, reach that left arm up. Inhale's gonna be here. Exhale, you're gonna reach that hand to the outside of your leg or foot, wherever the hand comes to. And you're gonna use that right hand to press down and lengthen your spine, and we're gonna twist to the right side. So notice what's happening in your shoulders and in your torso and in your breath. On an inhale, let's lengthen, exhale, turn back towards your leg. Now you're gonna take that left hand down on the ground, reach up with your right hand. Inhale's gonna be here. Exhale, you're gonna reach towards that knee and walk your left hand around, body is nice and tall and long as we twist to the left. Still breathing. Nice big inhale, exhale, we'll come back to the center. Straighten out both legs, flex your feet, hands on your thighs. Inhale, body up, exhale, slide down. I'll do that a few times with your breath. Now this time when you come up, again, we're gonna take the strap around the padded part of the left foot and bring your right foot in without using your hand. And again, it might take a couple of times to explore if you're used to using your hand. And you're gonna walk your hands down your strap so that your elbows are straight. Inhale, body up. Exhale, bend those elbows, head and body towards the knee, moving with your breath. Inhale is up, exhale is down. And this will be our last one. And when we inhale up, we're going to take that strap off and bring the left hand down to the ground. Inhale, reach up with your right hand. Exhale, you're going to come to the back of the outside of that left leg. Press down with your left hand. Lengthen your body, twist to the left. Making sure you can still breathe fully. Nice big inhale, let's lengthen. Exhale, unwind. Now we're going to take that right hand to the outside of the knee. Inhale up with the left hand. And as you exhale, we're going to grab around to the knee, walk your right hand around, twisting to the right. Body is tall, so you're not leaning forward or backwards. You're just reaching up towards the sky and twisting to the right. Nice big inhale, then we'll lengthen up. Exhale, come back to the center, and we're going to bend both of our knees. And we're going to come down to the ground, not for Shavasana yet, just in case you were, getting a little bit excited. Now you could roll, or you can safely get yourself onto your side body and come down to the ground. And here, you're going to have a choice. You can either do a bridge pose with the support under your pelvis so that you're not lifting your hips up and down, or you can move your hips up and down with the movement that we're going to do, because I want the focus to be your head, neck, and shoulders. So the inhale is going to be one arm comes up, hip and shoulders come up, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, hips down, arm down, head back to center. Inhale, second side, hips and shoulder come up. Arm extends, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, down. Now, if lifting the body is taking away from the head, neck, and shoulder, that's where I want you to put a block underneath your hips. Inhale is up. Exhale is down. So we're going to do each side one more time at your own pace, noticing all the wonderful things happening in your head, neck, and shoulders. And then I'm going to invite all of you, if you don't already have a block underneath your pelvis, let's put one there. And if you're at home and you don't have a block, you can use a folded blanket or a sofa cushion or pillow. And then let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. We're going to roll through that ankle point, flex the foot. And so then we're holding on to the right knee. We're going to take that left leg up towards the ceiling, flex that foot. We're going to move just through the left leg. You're going to inhale as you extend that leg towards the floor. Don't let it drop down. Exhale, lift it up towards the ceiling, towards your body. And you're just noticing how it feels to move through that leg as you hold on to the knee. Now, next time your left leg is hovering over the ground, we're going to reach for the flexed right ankle and pull that across our body so it's kind of like an upside down pigeon prep pose. And we're not putting any pressure on that knee, right? Keep breathing, no forcing. Make sure that it feels good, hip, knee, and ankle. And then we're going to gently release that right foot. Bring your left knee in. We're going to hold on to the left knee and take the right foot down to the ground with the knee bent. And you're going to point and flex the left foot and roll through the ankle. And you're still breathing, long, smooth, gentle breaths. Now when you're ready, holding on to the left knee, we're going to take that right leg up towards the sky with the foot flexed. And now we'll start to move with our breath. Inhale as you lengthen. the leg. Don't let it hit the floor. Exhale as you bring it up towards the sky and or your body. Moving with your breath. Now, again, next time that heel is hovering over the floor, we're going to reach for that flexed left foot and bring it across the body. And making sure, again, that there's no discomfort in the block, the low back, the ankle, the knee, the hip. You're just relaxing and breathing. Now, when you feel complete, so some of you may want to stay a few breaths longer, you're going to release that foot. You're going to bend your right leg, put that foot on the floor, and then take the block out from under and bring your hips down to the ground. And then gently moving side to side through your hips or bringing your knees in towards your chest and taking them in a circle, coming back to your center, to your breath, noticing how you're feeling. And then you're going to ask yourself, is there anything else that you'd like to do before you make your way into Shavasana? And if not, you're going to set yourself up for Shavasana in whatever way gives you the most comfort that you can. Move to a still place for the next period of time. So get yourself, do whatever your body needs to do, and then get yourself set up for Shavasana. So as you get yourself set up and you settle in, ask yourself, is there anything else that you could do that would help you to be just a little bit more comfortable so that you can find that quiet place inside, inviting your body and your mind to soften with each exhale. Back to your body and your breath, noticing how you're feeling in this moment, possibly remembering what it is that you wanted to feel by the end of our practice. What is it that stops us from getting to that place, if that happens? So, in your own time, as you're ready, starting to make those gentle movements back up to a comfortable seated position at some point. No rush. So as you find that comfortable place, just one more thing for our head, neck, and shoulders. So taking a moment to connect with your breath. And we're going to inhale both arms up, and they can be soft and perfectly straight. Exhale to the side, inhale up, and exhale, alternating. And you can decide how much your head wants to turn. Like you can look over that front shoulder, you can let your head move with your body. You're exploring how does that head want to move now after the practice and our shavasana, like what would feel really amazingly wonderful. And when you feel complete with this movement with the arms and the head, so some of you might want to continue, you're going to take the hands onto the legs and make some small or large circles with your body. We'll go in both directions, so we do a couple times in one direction, a couple times in the other direction. And then when you're complete with that, we're going to pause for a moment. Let's turn our palms down onto our legs and imagine that you're taking, like we just moved the upper part of the body and you have lots of life force running through you. And imagine that as you take your hands and put them on your thighs, because some of you talked about your thighs at the beginning, that you have these, healing powers from your own hands going into your thighs, or wherever they're located, on your knees or on your hip flexors. I just want you to focus on the center of your palms and energy flowing from your arms into wherever your palms are located on your body. Knowing that each of us has this ourselves on some level, mind, body, and spirit. And so thanking yourself for showing up, for doing the practice, for doing those things that your mind, body, and spirit need. And I'd like to take this time to thank all of my teachers. There have been so many over the years, and specifically to my tradition, Krishnamacharya, the teachings that I received. And I'm so, so happy to share them with you all. So let's close with my three favorite sounds. So let's inhale those arms up towards the sky, exhale the sound Q to the heart. Inhale, arms out to the sides, palms open, exhale, ah to the heart. And inhale, scooping the sound of Om up from the earth to the heart. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all again soon. Namaste.